Boundaries are super, super important in relationships. They're not just important for bad relationships or relationships that are going into a bad direction. So typically when I talk about boundaries, clients will say something like, "Oh, my relationship is starting to get bad," or "I'm in a bad relationship, I really need boundaries." And my response is, well, yes, of course, absolutely. Boundaries are good. They're very important. They're very healthy. And you may be thinking about boundaries in the wrong way. In my opinion, boundaries are not a rescue plan for a bad relationship. They are the evidence of health in a relationship. Now, what do I mean by boundaries? They're rules that guide your relationship. They are lines that someone can't cross. When someone does cross them, you talk about it, you bring it up, you mention it. If things go well, the other person recognizes they crossed a boundary, they apologize, and you move forward. You make changes, you make improvements so that you honor the boundary going forward from then on and going forward. And no one's shamed for a boundary. You can talk about your boundary, you can define it, you can explain it, and it's not a problem. It's not like, well, you shouldn't have that boundary. That's wrong. Now, maybe you have boundaries that are excessive. I don't know. We can get into the minutia of what your boundaries look like and how you came about them, and are they informed by past traumas. But let's just say, for the sake of the argument, you have really reasonable, healthy boundaries. So in a healthy relationship, significant others will honor the boundaries. They may even celebrate their partner for having the boundary. They're happy that their partner has the boundary, happy that their partner honors their boundaries. It's reciprocal. I'm happy you've got your boundaries. I respect them, I honor them, and I'm happy that you respect and honor mine. We're all on the same page. If I cross your boundary, you will let me know, or I will monitor myself and correct myself as I observe myself crossing your boundary. So that's all good, right? But again, I don't think clients often think in that way. They usually see it as a rescue plan. I've got to create some boundaries to protect myself. The other key thing about boundaries are they are meant to keep people safe. So what you might say, well, why would I need to keep myself safe if I have a good partner? Good partners can hurt each other. There's no doubt about that. I don't care how good of a relationship you have, you are more than capable. You might be the most capable person of hurting your partner. And so again, the boundary is as much there to safeguard your partner emotionally and psychologically. It's also as much to police yourself. As much as I wake up every morning and want to be the best partner to my wife, I despite my good intentions, I end up hurting her and being a jerk and crossing her boundaries, not honoring her in the way I should. So her boundaries are important for me to know and to respect and honor, because I want to police my own behavior to not harm people, especially those I love. And then they're there for her to mention and bring up when I cross them, and or I'm getting close to them and I'm flirting with the line. So I think it works in both ways. If you really care about your partner's boundaries, it helps you keep yourself in line, and then it helps them keep themselves safe because they can bring it up when you violate them. But again, my big emphasis on boundaries are that they're the evidence of health in a relationship. They're not a rescue plan. So sit down with your partner and have an honest, open conversation about what your boundaries are, why you have them, and then how can you enforce them. And that may be, I don't know, too aggressive of a term. How can you communicate them? How can you inform your partner when they've crossed them or they're getting close to them? Have that conversation before the boundary violation happens. So let me repeat that. Have this conversation before the boundary violation happens. Clearly define them, outline them, explain them, have an in-depth conversation. They share, everybody comes to a common understanding, and then the table is set, right? The ground rules are there. Everyone's on the same page. Maybe there's a little bit of a negotiation. I mean, again, if you have a really healthy relationship and you say, I don't know how I feel about that, would you be open to this? That's fine. I have no problem with that. Where I draw the line is, someone telling the other person, you shouldn't have that boundary. That boundary's wrong or foolish. That's totally the wrong approach. I would really encourage you first to investigate what happened in that person's life so that they feel like they have to have this really strong, excessive boundary, right? This really unreasonable boundary. Maybe they're protecting a wound. Maybe they've undergone some serious trauma. Before you go into attack, which you shouldn't be going into attack, but before you go into questioning and interrogating and third degreeing, first explore and occupy the position of a student and have a curious based conversation. I want to understand. That's why I'm asking you these follow up questions, not because I'm questioning you or doubting you or implying that you shouldn't have this boundary. I just want to understand it so I can love you the best that I can. And the way I love you is through honoring your boundaries and respecting them. Love is not just affection and romance and going on wonderful dates and writing Hallmark cards to each other. It's the daily, gritty, boring stuff of honoring someone's boundaries and understanding them and listening to them and hearing them out. That's love, in my opinion. That's the sexiest, most beautiful, wonderful thing you can do for someone. And yes, it's nice to go on dates too. I don't dislike those things as well. Let me add a few more thoughts here. I think that's it. Enjoy. Learn about each other's boundaries.